against us. Christian Paige is a senior at Trinity Lutheran College at Everett. He was born and raised in my birth city of Tacoma and graduated from Life Christian Academy. A first-generation college student, an Act 6 scholar, Kristen is studying visual communication and is interested in continuing his education post-graduation. He is an accomplished and involved student. He serves his Trinity Lutheran College community as a student body president and simultaneously works in undergraduate admissions as the interim assistant director. He is said to be passionate about education and diversity, with a desire to create equity and access for students who do not currently have the ability or guidance to get to college. This passion has driven him to co-found a nonprofit mentoring organization in Everett called the Hope Initiative. Christian would define himself as an agent of change, a child of God, and above all, an instrument of God's will. It is my great pleasure to introduce you to you, Christian Paige.
I thought somebody might have been excited, so I'm going to ask you guys again. Can I say good morning?
Good morning!
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. As the Lieutenant Governor said, my name is Christian Paige. I'm a senior at one of the greatest institutions in the state of Washington, which is Trinity Lutheran College. And in exactly 77 days, I'll be the first person in my family to graduate from college. So I've been asked to come here and share a word with my generation. But before I do, I just want to acknowledge the level of greatness, the level of wisdom, leadership, and personal sacrifice that is present in the elder generations in this room. And I just want to personally thank you for pouring into the leaders of tomorrow. And I think you guys deserve a round of applause as well. So now the word that I have to share with my generation is this. I want us to stop playing small. And as I was thinking about what I was going to say today, I was watching a series of YouTube videos because, you know, my generation loves distractions. There was a man who said something in this video that was so powerful that I really think pertains to what I'm saying today. He said that the richest place on the planet was the graveyard. He said in the graveyard, that you will find dreams that have never been acted upon, that you will find inventions that have never been built, and that you will find pioneers who have never went in the way that they were supposed to go because there were no footsteps to follow. And I think also often that our generation falls into this. So what does this look like? What does playing small look like for us? For some of us, it's settling for a 3.0 or a 3.5 when we were more than capable to be in the valedictorian. For some of us, it's being reluctant to shine our light because we don't want to intimidate the other people around us, when in reality, if we shined as bright as we could, we would give others the permission to do the same. For some of us, it's something as simple as not registering to vote, when we understand the pain and the personal sacrifice that people had to go through in order to give us that freedom. And what I'm here to say today, my message to the youth in this room, is that every time we decide not to utilize our personal freedom, every time that we decide to play small, every time that we decide to be good instead of great, we not only play ourselves small, but we play our God small. By saying that we are not good enough, we're not just saying that we aren't good enough, we're saying that the gifts that we have been given are not good enough. We're saying that when we succumb to fear, we personally minimize the power of God in our lives. And too many times, rather than not, we let those two considerations of fear and self-doubt creep in and take us out of situations that we have been designed to conquer. And if you hear nothing else from what I say today, this is the message that I want to give to our youth. Is that we need to get out of our own way. We need to stop focusing on who we are and who we think we can be, and start realizing whose we are and who He has called us to be. Because Jesus makes it real simple of what greatness is supposed to look like. He says in Mark 10, and it was mentioned last night, and I'm glad that it was said. He says in Mark 10 that if any of you guys wish to be great, that you must first become a servant. That if anyone wishes to be first, that they must be slave to all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and give his life as ransom for many. And what I have to say today is that there are people waiting to experience your service. There are people waiting to be mentored. There are people waiting to be fed, people waiting to be loved, and people waiting for you to share your gifts in a manner where they get to experience God's love through one of his vessels. So what I have to bring to the table today is this. This is my call to action. It's my personal pledge. And not only to my generation, but every generation in this room. Is that we refuse to play small. That we decide to be great. We decide to be servants. And that we use our gifts, our talents, and our abilities to step into exactly who God has called us to be. Thank you. Amen.
Watch out, guys.